I want to transition into talking more about Dad's legacy. And so I know that you and Mom, you guys went to Haiti this past week. And for some of the listeners who are listening, our dad passed last year. And so the church that he was involved with decided to create a computer lab in his honor and in his name at the orphanage in Haiti. So I'd love to hear you talk about just what your experience there and what is the mission? What are you trying to accomplish with the Ramses Noel Computer Lab?
Thank you for bringing that up. The Ramses Noel Computer Lab it's a place of opportunity. I want it to be a place of opportunity. I want it to be a breeding ground for people to grow and build their legacy. So let me backtrack a little. You did a really good job explaining what the fact that there is a computer lab. And so the orphanage is called the Shalom Village Orphanage, and it was created in 2010 after the earthquake that killed over 250,000 people. And so obviously that was extremely devastating, the earthquake was, for Haiti and just for people around the world to see the amount of suffering and loss that occurred in Haiti. And a lot of times when people see a very big problem, they see a very large mountain, and they're like, I want to climb this mountain, I want to solve this problem, but it's so big that I can't solve it. And so I won't climb the mountain. 250,000 people died. And this orphanage that was created is a beautiful symbol that although you can't help everybody, you could help somebody. And that help will make a huge difference. I guess it's just so powerful to me when I think about that, because it's not an orphanage that houses all the children who lost their parents during the earthquake. Like, if I'm not mistaken, like they up until recently, they had over 30 kids in the orphanage. So it's not like they had 30,000 kids in an orphanage, but you don't need 30,000 kids to have an orphanage and to make a difference. And these kids, the first time I met them was in 2016, and it was my first time going to Haiti, and it was with Dad. It was with all of us, Mom, Dad, you, Maki. I'm not sure if Anderson came. Did Anderson come with me?
I don't think so.
You probably stayed with him, Miss Dorian.
Shout out to Anderson, who's our younger brother.
Yes, a younger brother.
He's a troublemaker, but he's also the most popular Noel.
He is the most popular Noel.
Yeah.
And so, all of us went to Haiti, and it was my first time at the orphanage. And honestly, I didn't realize how powerful it was or what ground I was standing in when I went there the first time. But I remember I did some type of educational seminar / workshop with the kids. And that's around the time I first started public speaking, 2 years into it. And coming back now, I see a lot of the kids that I vaguely remember, but they're not kids anymore. They're still kids, but they're much, much older. And they still need a lot of help. The work that Pastor Fanfan is doing at the orphanage is God's work. It's incredibly powerful how the lives of those kids are just transformed because the weight of love that they get every single day. And it's so inspirational to me. And all these years that they were living at the orphanage, they never had a reliable source of Wi-Fi. Like, that's something that we take for granted. Like, we walk inside an establishment and we're like, y'all got Wi-Fi?
Like, that's the equivalent of having running water.
Yeah. Like, that's one of the first things we ask. And if they don't, we're confused. We're like, what do you mean you don't have Wi-Fi? Right? Like, it's just a given. Like, we have Wi-Fi. We're going to connect to the internet. We're going to type on our little fancy laptops and we're going to keep it pushing. But that wasn't the case for them. I'm like, how did they live like that? But then also, because when I went to Haiti, I was living on the orphanage. You know, there's just a lot of ways that their lives can be better if they received a lot more support. But to narrow the conversation to the Ramses Noel Computer Lab, prior to my trip to Haiti, I started to fundraise in order to see if I can get high-speed internet at the Ramses Noel Computer Lab effectively for the orphanage. And thank God there's generous people who contributed. People like Ted Lucas of Technology, also CEO of Slip and Slide Records. He's doing an amazing job with technology. He's doing an amazing job with educating young people about the power of technology and connecting them to resources. Not only he's doing that through the work that he's doing at Florida Memorial University, but also in the community through Tech Tuesdays. You know, also another person who contributed greatly is Lex Pierre, who is a co-founder of We Reach Foundation, also founder of Lex Promotions, that does marketing for Rick Ross. Like, that's amazing, right? And Lex is Haitian, and he contributed as well. And because of their major contributions, and also the contributions of people like Jeff Lozama and Marjorie Lozama, and so many others, we're able to afford to get high-speed internet for the Ramses Noel Computer Lab. And we also were able to get some computers from FMU. And right now, we're in a place where we have strong internet. We have a couple computers. We need better ones. I can't even cap, you know, because of all of, there's a lot of kids and there's only so many good computers that we have. What we want to do is make the computer lab a place where these kids can, one, learn how to effectively use a computer, how to navigate the internet, but then also we want them to learn skills on the computer so they can eventually find work, not only here in Haiti, but they could also find work in different places around the world, and specifically in the US as well. So what I envision is the kids learning how to edit videos, learning how to create graphics, learning how to be an executive assistant, or learning e-commerce, learning Shopify, whatever the case is. And they have partners or employers here in the US by the Haitian diaspora, but then also anybody for that matter. Because once they are intelligent, they're ambitious, they're hungry, they have everything that you and I have. They just don't have the resources. And if it's within my power, by God's grace and through the legacy of my dad, to bring them the resources in order for them to reach their potential, then that's what I'm going to do. That's part of my purpose. That's part of my mission right now, is to do that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I agree with everything that you said. And I think that technology mixed with education is just a great equalizer. Mm-hmm. And in order for those kids who have such bright futures ahead of them, in order for them to be able to pull themselves out of their situation, access is important.
Correct.
Access to technology, access to information. And I would probably give a lot of credit to YouTube and to, you know, the internet for the self-education that I've had. And I don't take that for granted at all, that my ability to access the world's information at the click of a button or with your phone or on your laptop, I really feel has brought me to the place I am right now. And so it's very beautiful to think that there's a future where these kids who, started from where they started, just the fact that you've introduced, this ecosystem where they have access to this technology, they can pull themselves out of their situation, but then also pull their entire, community and their families, and eventually, hopefully, the country into a new situation. So I think that you are doing the Lord's work, and I think it's very beautiful, and I think Dad would be very proud.